And I know everybody's been busy, especially, school has started. When school starts with you, Paul, today?
No, on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, so you got the weekend. I know, I think the elementary started today in some places. I know my niece in Florida started last week. So there, they went ahead. Okay. Well, let me share the minutes. We can go through it. Um, I think I have the minutes from. So I'm so used to doing Teams that application, right? So window. Can you just share a file?
You can share it. I think file sharing is only showing. Well, if you hit window, that's going to share that file itself.
Just this file?
Yeah, it'll only show that. So if you choose window, it'll show that window.
Share. This window, right? This one. Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay. So let's see. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for joining the meeting. Today is August 18, and thank you for being flexible since I was out of town for the last 3 days. It's 5:06 p.m. This is the Columbus ExCom, and would like to commence and start the meeting.
The award-winning ExCom.
Oh. What did you say, Paul? Can you repeat?
I said the award-winning ExCom.
Oh, yes, the award-winning ExCom. Yes, correction. Okay, so thank you again. We do have a few people kind of new in our meeting here, so we just want to do a roll call. So I'm Helen. For those of you that are new, I'm the chair of the Columbus section. We have Dr. Berger is our vice chair. Daniel is our treasurer. Howard Jones is our secretary. And Ian is here with me. And great that he's finally able to get a job with us. So I hope that he'll be happy here and learn quite a bit and grow. Definitely, there's a lot of opportunity for him to grow with Mettler. We have Chad Morning, and he's Chad. Would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Chad Morning. I'm a professor of ECS at Ohio University, more on the CS side, but I've taught a few EE classes. My research areas involve a lot of computer graphics, AR, VR, some multi-path modeling for aviation safety. I've been trying to get more involved, and so I thought, I saw the invitation came through and realized, yeah, I should probably come to this one. So I'm here.
Right, great, thank you.
Thank you and welcome.
Yeah, so we have Rao. I think we talked with you, Saul and I talked with you about your senior application, correct?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Sure. Yeah, Rao Chitikela. I'm an independent consultant. I live in Dublin, Ohio, and I practice on environmental permitting and compliance issues. And the other area I practice is municipal water infrastructure updating for cities and towns. And I know Howard. I work with Howard on the Franklin County chapter, OSPE. And yeah, thank you, Helen, and thank you, Saul, for approving my application and certifying me. Thank you. So that's about me.
Great. And we have Tianlin Wang. Welcome.
Hi everyone. So I'm new here. So I'm a postdoc with the Electrical Science Lab of the Ohio State University. So I'm a volunteer with the Geoscience and Remote Sensing Society of IEEE. So I'm a GISS Young Professional Ambassador and the Student Chapter Coordinator. So I'm interested. I'm working with a grad student at Ohio State to create a student branch chapter with APS and GISS. So I received the invitation and then I want to see what's going on with the section here. So nice to meet you, everyone. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Like I was telling Chad, and there's a lot of opportunity right now for volunteer, especially in our university level. You know, we definitely need to do a little more of publicity in that side, since a lot of are you guys hearing a lot of noise?
It's Howard or Soul when he's up speed. Mute your mics if you're not speaking. Yeah, it's Howard.
Is it?
It was Howard.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I guess we'll proceed with the minutes. June, we did not have a meeting. And July, we had a presentation with Dr. Delaney on the EPICS project. So that was a very interesting presentation. So tonight we'll resume with our ExCom. So we need to go through the minutes and any correction other than Paul. I think we didn't receive any kind of feedback. So we'll just, Howard, I'll just scroll down the minutes, and if there's any correction, then somebody raise your hand in the chat, and then we can go through it.
Ellen, could you make it larger?
Is that better?
Yeah,
Is it better, Bob?
I think so.
Okay. So I will scroll down to the report, and if there's any correction, just say so. Professional updates. I guess Saul and Ben. I was able to contact Ben, and he was saying that he might be able to attend this next few months. So with that, and then we'll go to the affinities and societies, and the report there. Any comments on the ADS, Paul, or you're good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. No report. And okay, so this was we're still open. I'm still looking for the young professional. So we need to discuss that later on. And for women in engineering, we did have some summer series for the 25th anniversary of we for IEEE, but so student branch, I don't think we have student branch tonight, and we didn't get any feedback from them. So with that, okay, any question about the minutes? I guess Howard, any question about the minutes? Did you mute it? Unmute Howard.
I just sent him the request to unmute.
Mute. No, I had no comments back anyway. a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll second. It's Daniel.
Who made the motion?
We'll say Daniel made the motion. Now we need a seconder.
Oh, gotcha. Yep, I made the motion.
Did I hear someone else second it?
I'll second it. Paul Bridger.
All right.
Okay, so Daniel made the motion to approve the minute and Paul second. Okay, motion to approve the May 17th minutes. All
for
in
the-
favor?
Call for the vote, Ellen.
Yes, I would say all in favor. Say
Yes.
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 Those opposed is nay. I think the May 17 minutes is approved. Thank you, Howard. Okay, so I will. All right, so I think, let me see, open that up. The agenda tonight is, I don't really have a very focused agenda. So this is just some of the things that I outlined. I know Paul have some
Zoom it in.
recommendations based on our recent award. So we need to look at some of those events, especially, you know, not form, typo. The one thing that we have to do also is our milestone for the 100-year anniversary of the section. I have been looking at places to host for us to do an event, and I had a feedback from Franklin Conservatory. We had an event from there years ago, where we had maybe 400 or 500 people attended, and also at the conference place, Howard, where we have the Engineers Week banquet. But then I'm concerned of doing event that is pretty far from university level, because then it's hard for students to attend maybe, and that was causing a lot of problem from our previous events where we spend a lot of money to go to a venue, and then we have, you know, very little. And also it's the cost. So I know this is a big celebration for us, along with our, you know, recent MGA section award, but also I don't want to deplete our general fund to do an event, because out of the two prices that I received so far is we're looking at about $10,000 to $14,000 for 250, you know, attendees. So that's quite a bit of money, even if we can raise some funding from sponsors, and also, you know, charging professionals to attend. Normally in the past, we do like a $20 per person, you know, for professionals, but for our students are able to attend for free. Award recipients are attended for free. And I think, in my opinion, is if we have life members, I think they should attend for free, because they have paid their dues for a long time. So that's something that I would like to discuss with probably. I did reach out to OSU, Paul, for their the Fawcett Center, because I think the Fawcett Center has big enough location for banquets. I think their grand ballroom can accommodate 250 dinner, or a sit down dinner type. but I have not received any feedback from them. So
Helen, a long time ago, we used to have some of our banquets there before we moved out to other venues.
yes, and I mean, and the undergrad, when the undergrad does their winter banquet, I think that's where they held it. But maybe because since I'm not an OSU affiliate, maybe, so I don't know if that's something that you or we can contact somebody we can contact that is OSU or with you, Dr. Berger. Is that something maybe that we can take into account? Because you know, it's gonna. I know we have to do something, but at the same time, I mean, $10,000 for a banquet is pretty steep for my. Um,
Yeah, the only banquet that we had that totaled that much was the year 2000 banquet at COSI. But we had 256 attendees there.
Yes, and even COSI, it's like you have to do it in the atrium or uh, outside, but you know, it's the same. Another thing that I think for COSI, in order to have a successful event, you have to do it on a weekend so people can attend.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just
so
saying that was our most expensive banquet in the last 20 some years.
yes, and then we did another one at the Mafre Stadium. I think that was the last event that we did, and that was also quite costly and is very poorly attended. I mean, so that was with John Pax when John was the chair, and we haven't had any big banquets since then. We had uh, dinner, you know, section dinner in 2019, but since pandemic we haven't really done anything. But with this year is a milestone, we should really do something. But are we willing to spend that much money?
Helen, in the past, I can't remember if it was IEEE or our professional engineers, but we were at the Franklin Park Conservatory.
Yeah, we had our banquet there 1 or 2 times at the Franklin Park Conservatory.
Yes,
Yeah.
and their minimum for rental is $4,000 just for rental
Yeah,
of the.
that was our second expensive banquet.
Yes, and I remember, I think that was like probably, mm, I moved to Ohio in 2005, so that's probably 2006, 2007 maybe. That was very, very 15 years ago. So when I saw their quote, you know, 4,000 just for rental, and then you have to use their catering, and you're dealing with Mitchell and all those high-end people. So, like I said, between the two facilities, probably minimum, you know, $12,000.
There's a place over here in Upper Arlington, kind of near say Kenny Road and Henderson intersection, if you can imagine that. And I'm an Upper Arlington resident, so I think we could rent. I don't know the price, but I'm sure it's going to be less than that. I'm putting it in the chat. It's called a barn, but they host lots of different events there. I remember having one of my daughter's high school graduation, kind of a group graduation event there. It's pretty nice.
Okay, so that might be something we have to look at. Um,
Probably a little bit more representative is this the pictures on Google Maps. Here's what it looks like in Google Maps. I'm putting that link. There's a picture showing further down. It shows the whole thing decked out. Must be for a wedding, so it's kind of over the top, decked out with curtains and stuff. I don't expect us to go that far, but
okay.
We had a very inexpensive one at an AEP training facility a few years ago.
Is that in Gahana?
Yes, So,
Or I think it's off of Mink Road near Pataskala.
yeah,
Oh, the new facility. So, um, is that that's my concern also is when we're moving too far away from campuses, are we going to be able to accommodate some of the students who
yes.
doesn't have vehicle and things like that? So
Might be able to get a bus for $20 per student, but
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so I guess I'm just I'm looking for your guys' help to decide what to do with it, because it's just with the holiday coming up, it's getting harder and harder to find locations and secure an event. So is that the Fawcett Center? Is that something we want to pursue, Dr. Berger?
$10,000?
No, I have not received a feedback from them.
Oh, okay. Sorry. A phone call. I'm listening on my phone, and a phone call came in, which caused your voice to drop completely. So there was a minute or two I lost.
Yeah, right now the two banquet facility that I have solicited is at least 12 to 14,000 for 250 guests. So I was looking at, I mean, we have 900 members, so even if you have 25% of that attend, I would count 200 and plus guests. So I think 250 is a good number for the event. And so right now, so I have the number of the Fawcett Center coordinator, so I guess I can give them a call.
Then
And
what time frame do you expect to have the event?
well, we don't want to push it towards November, so ideally it's September, October, since we are already late. You don't want to you don't want to do an event in the summer because of vacation time. And then of course August is the start of the school year. So September through October, but no later than that, because November with Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's otherwise you have to go to the winter months. Um,
Yeah, I just wondered when you contact venues, they always ask about the time frame.
yeah, and we have to do it weekdays. I'm pretty sure. I think weekdays should probably be better than weekend.
Yeah, because then people wouldn't be going on a trip.
Yeah, weekends is people are busy and things like that. So it could be Tuesdays or Thursdays, and of course when you're renting an event, weekends double. Also, the rental facility doubles on weekend.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we have two additional places that we can look, Upper Arlington and then the Fawcett Center. But I probably need to look back with you guys in an email just to see uh, how to move forward. I know we have money in our account. Daniel can probably share with that, but at the same time, I don't want to deplete all that money in the account.
And then Helen, I went to the 100th anniversary event for the Toledo section and the Cleveland section, 10 to 15 years ago. And, they invited the Region 2 chair to, present the banner and stuff. And then they invited all their past section chairs to make sure that they were there if they could attend.
Yes, so that's the main thing is we have to secure the venue, and then as soon as we secure the venue, and then we can look at the program.
Okay.
Yeah, so and then we can, we have members in Columbus that in the past we actually have sponsors. So I mean we can recoup some of the money from the sponsors, and then I was looking at for 250 members, if 50% of that is, you know, $20 per person, then you can recoup some money. So I think we have to decide whether if we're willing to spend this amount of money, and then the rest of it we have to raise just to cover. Okay, so that's my for the banquet, and I probably need to get some help from some of you because we're all pretty busy. So uh, we need to. Back in the days, we have a banquet committee, but now we haven't done that since, you know, with the pandemic, everything kind of thrown out the window. So we probably need to start doing something again. Also, it's this year is an election year, so I'll be sending nominations for office or for volunteers 2023, 24, and that should go out this month. And I think I will just leave Paul with the award submission, and we do have. I'm not sure where's our participants now. Yeah, did you see Carl in there?
Carl is not in there yet.
Okay.
No.
So
He said he was going to try.
okay, so Paul and I has been trying to have a meeting with Carl regarding the status of the site project. So unfortunately, that fell through, but he still, since he received funding from the HAC committee, Humanitarian Activities Committee, he needs to provide a proper report to indicate where the money is used, how to maybe reutilize whatever he has bought for a project, because it's been 2 years and I doubt that you can return.
I doubt it.
I doubt you cannot return those materials that he ordered. So maybe he did respond to me and we're supposed to meet, but then all of a sudden he has a conflict, so we weren't able to meet. I asked him to make sure that he sends a report to the committee, and he did say he did, but I don't have an evidence that he did it. So I know Paul is concerned. This is what I'm telling him, is that our concern is that since the money went through our section, and also, you know, we help creating the society or the committee itself, and that we don't want that to be a negative aspect towards the section, and any negative effect to any future humanitarian projects that the section would require. So we need to make sure that that is buttoned up and closed down.
I mean, that stuff could also be applied to another humanitarian project for like Ohio State or something, because
I
saw a
think
lot of
that's
that
what
stuff.
I think that's what he's trying
Yeah.
to reach out to do. So we'll see. With
Well,
that,
I'm running ostensibly, if I'm granted permission, I will run 2 different humanitarian engineering courses through Ohio State that would run next May and next August. But what we need is cash, not so much materials.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's all like what I saw was a lot of piping and some like fluid control mechanics. So it's a lot of like I think I saw some PLC things. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So it might be. I know with David, Dr. Delaney, what he presented, it could possibly be maybe utilized for that in conjunction with the epics. At least, you know, if there's watering control with that urban garden that they're using.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of based on the presentation that they did, they do have some issue about the robotics, that they needed a lot of help for that. And I think Paul was very aware of the epics, which is I think it's a very successful the way they're presenting it. So it's possible that they could reuse, but we need Carl will really need to work with us and share with us what's going on. So, okay, so that's all I have for my report. Dr. Berger?
Yeah, let me pull up share screen. Multitasking, I've got two different, probably see me on this call twice. I might need permission to, do I need permission to share or do I just jump over you?
You just click the share button.
Yeah, just click the share.
Okay. I didn't know if you had to unshare.
No, it'll kick her off and then you take over.
Okay. So as you know, we are the recipient of the Columbus Section 2022 MGA Outstanding Section Award for medium-sized sections. So I think we should commemorate this. We wrote a press release that will go into IEEE Region 2 newsletter. I don't know how many people look at that, so maybe if there's some other place we could get some mileage out of that. But I might try to bend the ear of one of the Ohio State public relations guys. That might be a vesicle, although this is your, our IEEE Columbus. It's not an Ohio State, ownership. So I'm kind of a little reticent to do that. But coming from the Electron Device Society, maybe I'm a bit biased, but I just thought it might be a little cute to kind of do this, the Silicon Heartland that was being professed around. I think I don't know who initiated it, but that was something that was a moniker that they were trying to profess when Intel was announced. And with the CHIPS Act obviously being signed this week, now the Intel plant coming here is supposed to be a sure thing. The only dicey thing that Intel was just leveraging cost share from the federal government, and with the CHIPS Act's passage and signage into law, that's a done deal now. So we will be the Silicon Heartland. And I didn't know if you'd even want to embellish it more and put an Intel logo on beside the IEEE and say Intel inside because it's inside Ohio. So
yeah, we may have to get their permission for that.
Yeah, that'd be a copyright thing. They're a high name.
Yeah.
Might be a trademark issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's really good. That's also one thing I would like to do, Paul. Maybe we can ask the students between DeVry, OU, and Ohio State to do a student competition for the 100-year design that we can put in our website, and also get shirt or our polo shirt that we can use whenever we have some events coming up. That'll be a nice brand for the section. I think the last time we had a polo was 2018 printed. Yeah, so yeah, so it was 2018, maybe 17. So
well, I kind of made that up.
Okay, so will you propose us to buy those shirts?
Yes, and I took it off screen share, but I had two different versions. What I was contemplating, and again, I need to solicit your input and so forth. But I was suggesting perhaps executive team, because we're not going to go by each title. That's too many different permutations. But I was going to have like executive team and then member. And that way, at events, we could at least have some little, acknowledgement of the executive team.
I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah. like those of us that are on the executive committee, we have a underneath the IEEE logo. It says
Yeah.
executive member.
Any other comments?
I think that'd be good.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Hold on, did that just?
Hi, Carl.
Yep, he's in.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Looking good. Sorry I'm late. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, we
we
hear
can
you.
hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So as far as vice chair report, I don't think I have anything beyond that. It's just the trying to essentially it's just acknowledgement of by the community of the MGA award, either through promotionals like the T-shirts or through getting a press release out there onto newsletters in various venues, just to kind of attract a little attention, which could hopefully maybe get some new members. Hey, this is a happening place. Things are going on. We got a lot of activities and so forth.
Yes. So with that, also maybe just a reminder that the submission for individual awards is September 25th. So I have the link to do submission for those, and there's categories that you can, of course you can't nominate yourself, right? But it's definitely open to the section. Please make sure, and I probably need to start looking into individual awards on this one. I'll probably loop back with you there, Paul, to see what we can do on the submissions.
Okay.
Okay, with that, thank you. We have Daniel, I believe.
Yep.
I see he's on here and his mic's unmuted.
Oh, okay. Daniel, are you available? Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's
You all
trying
not
to
hear
share.
me?
You're pretty mute.
Is this any better?
A lot better.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is our, sorry, was somebody speaking?
Please mute your line when you're not speaking. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so this is our treasurer's report for July. So not a lot of things happening. This was just transfers from the event that which event was that from? It was a spring event at OSU, but forget exactly which one it was.
Graduate student body banquet.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, so that's all that was. We were transferring the funds to the OSU specific account. So that's what we see going out, and then part of the funds came from the Student General Fund.
Can you enlarge it a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. So that is all that's there. Any questions on accounts as a whole? Okay. And then as far as income, so we had in our budget, we planned for $9,600 to come in. We haven't received all of that funding yet. We did get it'll show up next month, but AEP did send their check, and I have it recorded. I just forget exactly how much that was for. But yeah, so we do have corporate donations, but some of our other donations or rebates we haven't received yet. So this is kind of the deficit, quote unquote, we have from what we planned at the beginning of the year. But I think signs are pointing that we should be close to whole. Any questions with this?
I thought the
know,
rebates, I thought we received the rebates is a lot higher than 7,500. Would it?
That's what we planned. I don't think we've
Oh,
received
I see.
rebates,
Okay.
but maybe I. So I remember receiving them last year. I don't think we received them this year, Helen.
I thought they sent it out in June or July. I vaguely seen it. I have to go through my finance folder after the meeting. Also, I have a pending for the PACE. So that's me lagging behind on submitting the PACE funding. So we really need to take advantage of those money because last year I think very little section submitted for funding request.
Gotcha.
So especially now it's past July, so any funding from the first two quarter is strictly $500 per section. But now that it's second half of the year is actually first come first serve basis. So we need to start thinking at trying to get more money from them. Unfortunately, IEEE USA has discontinued all of their fundings support. So this is strictly Region 2, actually, for PACE that is allocated for 20. There's 20 section in Region 2, and they allocated $500 per section from January to June. Then after June is whatever fund is available for request. Okay.
And Helen, I did check. I had the rebate sent to our general fund, so I'll just have to reclassify that. We should be good.
Okay. Also, I think in our last chat, Paul did suggest that he will get some funding for like publicity. We probably, I don't know if we have to vote on that, Daniel.
For what exactly? Sorry.
For like a publicity.
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit moot because I just went ahead and did the heavy lifting. Originally, I was thinking we just like our department when they're understaffed, they sometimes hire a journalism major to write a press release. And you know, I was kind of really an advocate that we get the word out about our award that we won. And so I thought doing something like that. But then Rhonda was pinging me about the Region 2 newsletter, and I kind of had a mental note, and I they caught me at a weak moment, and I actually just penned it myself and drafted that 2-pager and threw in some photos that I had access to, and at least Rhonda seemed to be very effusive about that. She's like, Paul, I want to hire you. I don't know what your thought was with Helen, but so maybe we don't need to hire a journalism major. Maybe you have one already in your midst.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just a matter of time, you know, when I know I'm behind on those filling out our vitality report that's gonna hit me during the COVID time. So there's the second quarter we need to fill out. I think most of those we met anyway, except for a few things, and that's something that we haven't done a whole lot in our section. Is really do like a workshop for our members. I know most of us work with companies or schools. I know Ohio State does like resume workshop and everything. So that's part of the checklist that we have to do as a section that make sure that our members have the knowledge or the resources that they can ask to help them with resume writing or interviewing. You know, with the job market today, it's a little bit volatile, and we should have our members to be equipped to uh, to always update the resumes and learn new ways to interview, because it's a little bit different nowadays. Um, with what they're looking for. There's a lot of data mining when it comes to jobs. And for example, for Ian, he sent his resume to the recruiter, and she just automatically discarded it because it didn't fit. It's because they're just keyword searches.
Yeah, it's a keyword search. I forget what it was called. It's called an ATS, applicant tracking system. So the ATS systems, we need to somehow educate on how these ATS systems are really reading our resumes. So we need probably a workshop where people can bring in their current resume and have someone that has access to one of these ATS systems actually run the resume through and find, okay, how can we actually make it work?
So that might be one thing that we have to do, is as part of the industry partner, is that we need to partner with some of these company that, I mean, university does workshop, company does have workshop, like Medler Toledo, we have workshop for that. So it's something that you partner with industry and tag along. I'm pretty sure AEP has it. So I know we take advantage of, sometimes we got the PS with ethics program or things like that. So in my tenure with the Columbus section, I have not participated, or we have not done a workshop in resume or career things, and that's something we really need to do with this. Yeah, if it wasn't where I said, no, this is a good candidate and I want you to review this candidate, and then otherwise his resume would just been discarded.
Ellen, could I ask, are we through with the budget?
Oh, yes.
I just wondered if you wanted to have a
Sorry.
motion to acknowledge the financial report.
Okay, is there anything else, Daniel?
No, just details on what was where the funding went, but it's all in that report that I think Howard is going to attach.
I think you have some Concur. I think you're all set up with Concur now. You don't have any outstanding expense.
Yeah, that's correct. And we did renew our mailbox at Twin Rivers for this next year.
Okay, and that will be part of it will be a line item in the budget for next year.
That's correct.
You don't have to get it approved. All right. Well, thank you. So make a motion to approve the budget or the financial report as Daniel presented it.
Well, I'll make the motion to acknowledge it. I don't think we have to approve it, just acknowledge the financial report.
Okay. So Howard, motion second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Bob second. Okay, so I guess it's just an acknowledgement for the financial that Daniel presented.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Howard.
Thank you.
So,
Do you want to bring something up with the factor of publicity? I might have someone who has a connection with ABC6. So if we wanted to do like a little short newscast just saying like how our section has gotten this 100-year event, and then also we got this award, then probably we could do like some short little interview thing for a minute, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something that we can think about.
Okay. I think back to 2018 was when the Pickerington Special Olympics won the state championship for the Special Olympics basketball. And I'm actually in that newscast actually. The coach, I believe, had a connection with the guy that actually did the interviews for us.
Okay.
So
Good.
We'll have to talk to him and ask him how he got that set up.
Okay. Well, we kind of went off the track here, so we got 30.
One more question.
Okay.
Helen, on the shirts or with the two shirts we talked about, what was it? Did you say we thought we should do that? And I didn't catch all of the any
That's
kind
good.
of discussion of when and who's going to work on doing that.
Good point, Howard.
Yeah, I have a friend who does embroidery. So, I mean, if we can get an order made, she can take care of getting the shirts and stuff, but we have to have the precise sizes that everyone's going to be wanting.
Okay. So
So
do
the
we,
shirt-
Do we want T-shirts or do we want polos? And because if it's a polo, I think you're less likely to put additional graphics on the back. It would be more like a very delicate embroidery, as Ian's just said. So, which venue do we want? Do we want something more?
so this
Well,
is,
she's doing like stitch embroidery.
oh, this is printing. So I think this
It's
is,
not printed.
Yeah.
It's a machine that's actually doing the stitching.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
the way you showed, Dr. Berger, that's almost like probably towards printing the artwork that you have.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that'd be for
Talking
printing.
to my 26-year-old yesterday, and she was like, "Dad, polos are so old school. People don't wear polos anymore."
Tell her to go visit the office environment then.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in this case it's okay, but personally I like polos. I think it's a little formal,
Mhm.
and so we might do that with the 100-year logo. So maybe at this time we'll just go with the T-shirt. So how I guess Howard's question is, how do we allocate? Are we gonna allocate funds to that, or is that your question, Howard?
Yeah, yeah. How are we going to do that? I know that when we bought shirts before, the IEEE shirts, we had issues with those. I'm not sure how we do this. You generally buy the shirts, and are we talking about getting them printed on there and with that?
Yeah. Printing T-shirts is certainly probably cheaper, and
cheaper,
maybe
yeah.
the executive committee gets a freebie, and then for a modest fee, not trying to make a profit off anybody, maybe almost at cost, or something like that, we could offer it to members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's good. We can do that. Will you canvas some pricing, and then we can vote on it next time for the pricing? But we definitely need one.
Yeah, I'll have to check with the students. They seem to they often are more hip on which t-shirt places are the cheapest and good quality and things like that.
Yes, I remember Haley. She sent me a vendor one time,
Yeah.
where they were getting some prints. So I'll touch base with her and see how much we need to allocate for it.
And if I can get official permission from Intel, would you be reticent to including that, or is that too skewed towards my demographic of Electron Device Society?
No, it's not totally out. That's where there's a lot of application for electron device on that. So as long as we get permission, I don't think there's a problem.
Chances are we're gonna have a lot of Intel engineers coming here to
Correct.
help grow our
Yeah,
team.
and I
So
think that's what Saul is, wanting for membership development, is that we really need to reach out to this new pool of possible members. We need to target them. So it could possibly be we need to use it for, fundraise or membership development.
Yeah. Yeah. We might even need to have tendrils to Columbus State, because they're going to be a feeder for some of the employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we just need to, as soon as we get pricing, we can get back to the ExCom to vote on it, how much we wanna allocate. We definitely want to print for the executive committee, and we can print the rest for the section as part of membership development initiative.
Okay. How many do we have in the executive committee? Where do you
Probably say
draw
we
the
have
line?
almost probably 10 to 15.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, because there's some of the in the ExCom is you have multiple roles. Yeah. So I'll make a count and see how much do we have. Okay. Anything else on that?
Yeah, I was just going to say sometimes the t-shirt prices vary a little bit, not only because of certain sizes, but they have different materials now, whether you want, like the self-wicking material added into the cotton or whatever.
I think it also depends on how you have it printed too. There's screen printing, and then you have like direct thermal printing, and
Yeah, well, in the silk screening, they can print them on they can silk screen designs on all the materials. It's just sometimes certain materials might be a little bit more.
Yeah, you have to get a better type of material for better screening. Definitely, you don't want to get the so cheap type of material. So they have levels whenever you try to choose which one. So we'll get something nice.
Yeah, they have more varieties now.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else with that? Otherwise, we'll proceed. We're running out. We got 29 minutes to go through societies, and we want to make sure we'll cover some of these updates. So we'll go to the professional society. Saul, you want to comment about the senior application panel?
Well, Helen and I both participated in that.
Yes, it was. I think he's muted again.
He's muted again.
Saul, you're muted.
Yeah, well, Helen and I both participated in that Saturday. It was very, very interesting.
Yeah, it took about, it started at 9 a.m. and it was slated for the entire 8 hours. But thankfully, we have a lot of volunteers, and we were able to complete all the application at 2 o'clock. And this is our team at Region 2, and there were almost like 20 plus volunteer. And we reviewed senior member application from Region 1 to Region 10. So it was you're assigned applicant to review, and then once you review it, another person review it, and it goes to the final panel. Out of 12 application that I reviewed, I have to do one for pending because the form wasn't completed. Yeah. Anything else, Saul?
Okay. Nothing else.
Okay, thank you. Ben is not with us, so we'll probably touch base with him. He had communicated with me for a little bit. He's doing well. He's just not quite ready, I guess. So probably we need to help out on some of these PACE activities. Obviously, our banquet, that's considered PACE, so we can get some funding out of Region 2 for that. That's another venue for money. And for education activities, I guess right now we really don't have, although we were invited to do a exhibit with the Ohio Technology Teachers Education Association at the river somewhere in Bucyrus. I have to send you. This is with Dick Reichenfender
From the state fair.
from the state fair, because
Yeah.
we're unable to participate with the state fair this year.
Yeah.
So they have a new event coming up in October.
Okay.
So we need to probably look into ways to participate on that one.
Well, one thing, I don't know if you know how the Dayton section, they had that like a activity event not too long ago.
Mhm.
I was going to help with that, like even though it's not our section, but someone with
That coincides with the March Madness, I believe.
it was something with
Yes,
March
yeah,
Madness,
mhm.
and they were supposed to make like these little LED flashlights. Apparently, they didn't get all their goods in time, but I know where to get these a little faster than they could. So if
Yeah.
we could probably recreate that flashlight design.
So that reminds me, I have to respond to Dick that we will participate.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can participate. I can look into getting those parts ordered here. when the first paycheck
Okay,
comes
because
through.
they needed to set up the venue.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Webmaster, we still need to update.
Nah, I've just been hanging on the threads the past few months.
Yeah.
the
So
hunt for the
especially
job,
with, I would like, like Paul said, we need to do a little more publicity.
Mhm.
Our website needs to have, should have a blasting thing there about our awards.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna try to get to that now that I've finally got a actual sitting job now.
okay.
I'll have more off days rather than working every single day of my life.
Okay.
Ian, did you get CC'd in that press release draft that I sent to Rhonda at Region 2?
Not that I know.
Okay.
Let me see if I.
Either we could post it directly ourselves, or we wait for her to post it and then you just do a repost.
Well, I mean, whenever she posts things on the website, that's actually going through me first.
I should have known.
Yeah, Rhonda. Anything that Rhonda posts goes to me, and then I have to post it.
Okay. Well, then you'll see it and know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Student activities. I guess that's part of the student activities will be in May. So anything right now we don't really have a whole lot that's going on here. The auditor, of course, that's something that is one of those elephant in the room kind of deal with our finance, that we need to look back for prior years to make sure those are settled before we get hit by a Region 2 for audit. So right now we've been, skating through pretty well, but we don't want to get into the point where Region 2 is gonna get involved with us. I mean, Daniel has done a tremendous job cleaning up things for the last couple of years, but we still want to make sure that we're good. We're good to go with our finances. Jim spends a lot of money, a lot of time, not a lot of money, but a lot of time trying to figure things out, but he just ran out of time, and some personal things that he has to do with so and we didn't really get a resolution from the outside auditor that we hired. They gave us some recommendation, but we didn't really complete that. So that is an outstanding thing that we have, our section still have to do.
That still needs to be looked at, Helen, because Region 2 can come back and they find we don't have good data for those years, they can end up penalizing us and sanctioning us, whatever.
Yes,
But it's
I understand. Yeah.
okay.
I think
All
it's
right.
2017, 18, and 19 is the year in question. So what we can do at this point is just we have to um, we just have to really itemize and then make comments on all those spendings. I think we did that. You and I and Josh had spent some time sitting down, but some of those we could not. He could not provide receipt, although he stated that the receipts is in OneDrive. But I have not really had any time to go through OneDrive to dig up all of those receipts. Okay. Bob, I saw an email from Barry. Do you want to
Yeah,
comment on that?
yeah. Howard reminded me and asked if I had received any feedback from Region 2 on our Columbus section local operating procedures, and I let him know that we hadn't received any feedback. So I sent um, uh, the local operating procedures files to Barry and some Region 2 committee members, and also to you, Helen, and to Howard, and to our Region 2 West Area Chair. But I guess they didn't go through, so I resent them again on my personal laptop, and they went through. And Barry said that he received the files and that they'll review them and I guess give us some feedback by this weekend.
Okay, good. Thank you. SPACs, I think the last meeting that I have with the Region 2 is they're trying to redefine what SPACs is, so we'll probably wait until they make a decision how to proceed with that. Hopefully with things easing off with the pandemic, maybe we can start doing some student activities again. I'm pretty sure they're doing a lot of that remotely, especially coding competitions and other things, but they haven't been a whole lot of face-to-face events at the moment. Okay, any question? If not, we'll go to society's update. I think Dr. Berger did mention that the person that used to do, sorry, I jump to from antenna propagation. I have not had any feedback from Dr. Berger, and probably need to touch base with them. I haven't, I apologize, haven't had a lot of time getting in contact with some of this chair. So hopefully the next month I'll get a little bit of break here and I'll be able to do some work on those, especially the non active one, because it does hurt us when it comes to our yearly report on activities. And to be honest, we do get a lot of refund. This is how we can get extra refunds. Is I'm trying to push this to you guys that we do get some money from societies, as long as we get at least 2 events, especially technical events. That's a minimum of $200 rebate. So each one of these, we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 society that is a 1,200 or $2,200 there for each of those societies get some money. So and that can go back to the societies for them to spend and improve the section. So with that, Bob, do you have anything for computer?
On the Computer and Communication Society, I received email yesterday from the ComSoc Communication Society. It's an email on signing up for virtual distinguished lectures. So I'll be applying for the VDL speakers to see, what we might be able to obtain there. And then maybe I'll get with Chad Morning there at Ohio University to see if we could have a speaker talk to us about some research going on there. Um, and I think Expedient, the Dublin data center that we went to, when I was looking into that a little bit more, it looks like they might have closed, and maybe they're just using the Worthington office now. But anyway, um, I'm still looking for speakers, but yeah, I'll try to get a distinguished lecture, and then if Chad's still online, see, later, get with him to see if we can get a speaker, from Ohio University on what research they're doing.
Okay. Chad, any comments on that?
Yeah, I'm sure we could find somebody, on a variety of topics, particularly on the computer society side, the CS people, especially if it's virtual, would be very easy. And we actually have a visiting professor from Chubu University in Japan, doing some machine learning research that might even be willing to do it if you want it. He'll be here for the semester, so I'm sure we have lots of options we can work with.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. Carl, are you still willing to do this control society? We haven't reported any events for the last 2 years, so we're probably
Yes.
gonna get hammered again from region to warning.
I have looked into, sorry about all the things in the air for the last 3 years have been, as you guys know. Anyway, finally getting on some foundational solid ground, I think, if things stay stable. I was thinking of looking into the controls to deal, also combine it with the site equipment that we have, because some of it is PLCs, and looking into just doing something as simple as raised bed gardens with PLCs and it has conduit basically, and it has some electrical things that we may have to try to get back. I don't know how that would work, but raised bed gardens with a greenhouse on the church property. The church will donate whatever's needed. Because once our project kind of started falling apart, a lot of donors, of course, naturally held up to see what was going on, and then COVID came. And so we were kind of at a standstill with both those things. So that's just what I was just considering, why I knew you was coming to me with that. And I was thinking maybe I need some problem I have with that is the PLCs cannot be exposed in that area. They will be taken. And the raised bed garden is pretty far away from close to the building of the church. So those are the kind of things I'm looking into. I was thinking about getting with Dr. Berger and seeing what we could do with some OSU students, or maybe in the agriculture department. See about getting some help there with Cultivate. They got a new director. That was who was working alongside of us. And Amy had a couple children and then adopted another one. So she went with her family, and the new director is a good person, good friend of mine. She's a young lady just out of college, and she's willing to do things. But as far as her affiliations with a lot of clout with volunteers is kind of need to be rebuilt. Amy had quite a few good relationships that are kind of lost in this. So that's where I'm at. I'm just starting fishing. I've been in touch with Juliana pretty much all along the way, and every time I try to close out a final report, she says, well, can you look, see if you can find another use? So I'm going to give it another shot at that. What does anybody think about those ideas?
David Delane is doing his own site project here in Columbus in an alternate food desert community. And it's raised bed gardening. They have a robot that does automatic planting. That was the last month's presentation. I don't know if we recorded it or not. I met David at a humanitarian workshop up in Minneapolis about energy access for communities. Really good guy, good team. And also, I'm mobilizing to do potentially 2 humanitarian engineering projects. I did get some pushback saying, Paul, I didn't know you were planning to do the second one, but it's penciled in that I could be going to the Navajo Nation in May of 2023 and back to Tanzania in August of 2023. And one of the things we met with a farmer / sheep herder on the reservation, and they have this makeshift greenhouse called a hoop house. It's just kind of basically some simple framing, and then you stretch some plastic over the top, and it makes a kind of a low budget greenhouse. And we're looking to do some automation of that because the gentleman lost 4/5 of his crop because one day he was had a trip off the reservation and he'd left the doors open because it was kind of warm that day. And by the time he got back, the freezing temperatures had kicked in and killed his crop. And so if we could automate that in some manner, way, shape, or form, so having some microcontrollers or something like that might be, we might be implementing something like that.
Juliana emphasized, as long as it was a community project with some automation, and we just are going to of course, we downsized the project for site, but I was also, as Helen was speaking, kind of thinking maybe throw some controls. Controls are in it, microprocessors and PLCs. So, Dr. Berger, I would love to hang on to your coattail and see what I can help with or give or donate or even be a part of, and maybe we can combine some things.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
good.
we should probably put you in contact also with David Delane and his team.
I was working in Tanzania, actually virtually, with smart cities dealing with Rwanda.
Is that the Gemstone project?
Yes, right outside of Rwanda. And so we're having some tentative proposals for contracts to go that way that are looking good. And it sounds like around the time you're going to be there in Arusha.
Yeah, I was actually part of that at its inception, and then somehow they went off in a different direction, and they forgot to take me along. And I bumped into someone and related to Smart Village, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's actually running now." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, it is. It is. It's going all the way from Dar es Salaam all the way into Rwanda, and now they have a federation of 7 nations that plan on doing one currency and trade. But it's a long story on that. But you know how those things go.
Yeah, let's take this offline.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Carl. Just to say, it's just like you maybe start thinking about some events. I know we have. I know Dr. Berger and I had discussed about these. They have some of the professor actually that delivered the keynote address with the graduate student event this last April. Could possibly be get involved with some of those controls, lecture or webinar or something like that. So we need to make sure that we at least have some activities, because if we have no activities, then we just get flagged by national for not having any reported activities.
I'll be more active in meetings now, but I was working an afternoon dealing with students for the last 2 years, trying to get them to deal with virtual learning, and that has kind of petered out a little bit. So I
Okay.
was working with some social services doing that. So now I'm free again.
All right. Good. 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 So let's move on to we're running out of time here. Electron devices. I see some events coming up there, Paul, on September that I think you asked about sending it out. Can you actually update the event to include our section? Then it will be sent out to the section as a notification.
I usually, maybe my mastery of vTools is a bit limited, but this is it. Wait, here it is. Hybrid, but when I enter into vTools, I generally click all the boxes to go out to everybody. So, but I never really see where it goes. So it has a life of its own. But I thought when I
Okay.
did the vTools, I hit not just EDS members, but I thought I hit spammed the entire Columbus, demographic.
Yeah,
This
you
is kind
have
of
you have to select the OU, which is for Columbus is R2003 as additional, I think, host or something like that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can work with that. So this is
Yeah.
till September, so we have some
Yeah.
time.
And one kudo is we've because of the hot Intel in Ohio, President Christina Johnson will actually be giving the introductions.
That's great.
But of the vTools pre-registration, I am the only Ohioan registered right now. This guy is bringing some people from California who are going to do hybrid virtually, and there's a couple people internationally that have already heard about this. So somehow vTools must have disseminated because some guy from like Nepal is registered. So I'm kind of surprised you guys didn't get a flyer. But there's no one from Ohio, so we need to kind of beat the bushes. It's going to be really embarrassing if there's nobody in the room when the president shows up.
Yes, yes. So if it doesn't work, maybe next time we can do teams next time in the next I'm not sure what your schedule is, but I'm on vacation next week. But maybe when I get back, we can look at your vTools. You may not have the rights to do it. You never know.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good. We have PS Daniel. I have not heard from Austin. Are you guys doing okay? I haven't seen any event coming out of PS.
No events. Sorry, my mic was off. No events lately. We've been trying to our board has been a little busy with stuff, so it's been a little difficult to get everyone together. But we are trying to get our next distinguished lecturer scheduled.
Yeah, and I made a mistake when I did the report for the legislative day. I should have included the PES because Swin did the presentation for that. So I'm going to send Austin. Maybe he can do a report. At least I would like for the PES to get benefit or at least credit for that event.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess one other thing, Helen. So we are looking at doing something with Smart Columbus, some sort of event with them. So that may be at the PES level or maybe something we do as a section, but just wanted to make sure I brought that up.
Okay. Right. Young professional, we're looking for still looking for a chair for that. And actually, for women in engineering, Kavita and I were planning an event sometime next month for COSI, and we will combine that with young professional and of course extend that to the section as well. I'm I'm a little bit leery of doing it on weekends because, like I said, I don't want to cannibalize people's time. But then again, it's hard to do after-hour events in places like that. Although they do have programs for like COSI After Dark
Yeah,
for professionals.
I mean, you might be able to probably arrange them. Say like,
Yeah.
we're just trying to get in like this adults event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming up in next month. Student activities. I got an email from Bryant. He was unable to attend. Anything else? I don't see anybody from the student activities other than you, Paul. So, any update on your graduates GSB section?
Yes, I do. I'll try and keep it very brief. Here is, we had a meeting, and the officers are getting trained through the Ohio Student Union. Here's some of the events. We're going to have a bagel, donut, coffee 2-day activity. We're going to try and invite the dean again. We're going to have a recruitment event that's be completed by September 9th. We're going to have a Learn, Network, and Dining event targeted towards Intel somewhere around mid-October. We're going to have paint, snacks, and potions later in the semester. We're going to have a meeting with Texas Instruments and Rovisys and Intel company info sessions. And they're also going to do, it's been pretty popular, is having some soccer and outdoor activities, something like bowling or something like that. So they got quite a number of things slated. They've gotta you know, indoctrinate the officers. Heli's a hard act to follow, but they seem to be off to a good start, and they're a good team.
Yeah, that's great. I just have to keep reminding them that make sure all event is recorded in VTools, and that they're gonna share some photos and events with us so we can include that to newsletters and things. I know we kind of tend to fall short when it comes to sending publicity messages. So we really need to start. Maybe we're too old for social media. We need to really bring some new people, like Ian or younger, and that we can take us into the publicity mode. So that's something that we're lacking at in our section. So we can learn from the student sections.
Yeah, probably see if any students in the student section want to be our media chair.
Yeah, media. We need a
Social media chair.
social media publicity chair.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just okay. So I think we covered most of it. Any new business that anybody would like to bring up? Okay. If
Yeah,
not,
hey, Helen, quick question. I know the OSU career fair is coming up. Have we done anything? Maybe not necessarily with the career fair, but some sort of presentation. We're talking about, kind of reaching out. I don't know if that's something that we've thought of.
so is this the OSU career fair in the fall?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I have not, so we could definitely plan to do something. I know what the event that we did with the graduate student that was kind of specific for them. Of course, that event was extended to undergrad and other students. So that was a good turnout for their first event, but we definitely need to do a little more publicity. Like I said, we are competing with so many societies and clubs and in the university level.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Well, thank you so much for your time and attending. And Chanling, can you repeat again what section you're in or what society are you involved?
Hi. So, Helen, I'm involved in the Geoscience and Remote Sensing Society. Yeah. And also antenna and propagation a little bit.
So APMTT?
Yeah, a little bit on AP. Yeah. Yes. And mostly on geoscience and remote sensing. Yeah, that's another society.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
We can,
Alan, can I make a motion to adjourn?
yes. Okay, if there's no other questions and new business, I'd like the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that.
A second?
Need a second?
I second.
Okay.
And Saul and Howard, good to see you guys. Looking good.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. And Chad, I'll get in touch with you if any position or that you would be willing to tackle. And probably need to get in touch with Chang Lu. I haven't heard from Chang, and we're probably one thing is I'm a little bit concerned of OU student section. They don't seem to have reported any events.
They have about 7 events per semester. So if Savas hasn't been reporting them, we can probably find someone else to give you those reports.
Yes, and they can do it straight in vTools, but it's just that they have no visibility. So
Yeah.
if they don't report any events, they don't get it rebate. So
Okay, yeah.
like DeVry, they're very good in reporting all of their events, so they get some money back for those.
I will communicate that to the chapter president, Colin Russell, because if he knows he's going to get money from it, he'll be more likely to do something. So,
Yes.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.